I think I need to make this video for an update about the late endgame of this druid build. It has hit the 1.3 billion damage mark since last video. Yes, you didn't hear it wrong. Indeed, 1.3 billion damage. This is the Butcher in a tier 99 Nightmare dungeon. Is him supposed to be the most terrifying boss in the game? Looks like he was one-shotted. This build consistently hits millions, tens of millions, and hundreds of millions of damage everywhere. This cursed shrine fight is one of the examples. All the build details are in the default planner website for you to take a look. It is linked in the description. If you want to see more content like this, please smash the like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to never miss a video. These are the gears: helmet, chest, glove, pants, boots. That penitent boot is great because it has 9% more damage for chilled enemies, which is good for cloud control and for the damage multiplier. You don't really need to have this for your build. You can use some boots just like this, which is very good. And then I found a better rolled grip stuff of the crown, which is awesome. And I also prepared a one-hander where you can get more critical strike damage, vulnerable damage, and core skill damage. And also a totem that you can get more critical strike chance, basic skill attack speed, damage reduction, and cooldown. So probably these two can have even better damage output. I probably will try later in the game. This is the amulet. I finally found a 8-second one for the symbiotic aspect. And ring. Also another ring. I have switched the place of the aspect a little bit. So all of these will be in the planner website for you to take a look. There's a minimum change on the skill tree. I took 4 points out of the landslide because we're not really relying on landslide as our main damage output. Instead, we rely on Earthen Bulwark, which is really strong in the end game. And then for this 4 points I took out, I think I put 2 points into Defiance to further increase the damage output. I also took 1 point from the Petrified Tree and also 1 point from the defensive posture, and put all of these additional 4 points into quick shift to be able to get to the highlighted sense to get more damage reduction from an elite. This is very important in the end game because we need more defense to survive in the fight. I don't think I made any changes to the spirit boons. We used this one, critical strike damage, fortify as we use a defensive skill, pack leader, and also calm before the storm. I will quickly go over the Paragon board and leave all the details in the link in the description. We use exploit to get more vulnerable damage and also make the enemy vulnerable on hits. This is really strong. And then we go to Earthen Devastation to get increased earth skill damage, and use this glyph outmatch to get a lot of critical strike damage from this rare node. And my outmatch glyph seems like it's not fully upgraded yet. And then we go to this side to get a lot of damage reduction using a protector glyph. And then grab some of more critical strike damage loads around this cluster, which is very good. And then moving up to use Fan and Claw to get more damage multiplier. Get some armor, get some life and armor, and then grab this cluster for very good critical strike damage. And then moving to the right, use Spirit to get a lot of critical strike damage in this cluster. And then some damage to poison enemies and also elites. And then moving up to get this legendary node for highlighted melee. And finally moving right to use territorial glyph to get more damage to the closed enemies, and also very nice 10% damage reduction against the closed enemies. If you want even more damage, I think you can just remove all of these points here and move down to the board here and get this cluster for really good critical strike damage and also vulnerable damage. You can see there are a lot of load about the critical strike damage and the vulnerable damage. Hope this video is useful for you to build your endgame druid character. Please leave your comment below and let me know how you want to take and play the build. See you in the next one.